No buy July. Fickle mistress that you are. I failed you miserably. I did a terrible failure at no buy July. It consequently has turned into a no buy fail, super fail. I did pretty good at the start, but then at the tail end, everything just became a shit show. Now, I don't do haul videos really ever, so I think this is the second one I've ever done, but I'm going to introduce you to all of the stuff that I failed no buy July with. If you're into the haul, stick around. Hey, what's cracking YouTube? I'm Brandon. Welcome to DaVinci's Alchemyst, your blue-collar guide for drinking well, stinking pretty, and apparently not saving any money. At least not this time. So, as I said before, I went into No Buy July with a very hopeful state of mind, and everything was going great until the very tail end. Literally the last few days, it fell apart, and then everything kind of tumbled down the mountain, and I ended up with quite the haul for the August month. I got a lot of new frags that, you know, are for me. They're very new to me. Some of them I've been looking at for a long time. Hopefully some of these are going to pique your interest. There's a lot here, folks. So I'm going to burn through these as quick as possible, give you some brief descriptions. Let's take a look at what I got. We'll start off, of course, with my downfall. So I've been looking at this for a long time. At the very tail end, American Perfumer reopened a bid in to get the chance to buy a bottle, a limited edition of Bloodline from Hans Hendley. And I've been in love with this for a while since I first sniffed it, and I missed out on the first re-release. This is technically the second re-release, so the third release of Bloodline. There was a limit of 81 bottles sold, and I managed to get number 48. It's smoky, it's piney, it's resinous, balsamic. It is such an amazing fragrance. Super outdoorsy. Really glad I finally got a bottle. It is definitely one of my biggest treasures. So from there, everything just kind of snowballed. I ended up getting some stuff from different places. From my local perfume house, Fumery in Portland, I picked up, first I went to go get the new Spell 125 from Papillon Artisan Perfumes. This is so freaking fantastic, going along that theme of, resinous, balsamic, piney type fragrances. This kicks hard with a nice kind of almost forest feel. There's some beautiful leather-like properties. I know that I don't think leather is a note in what Liz Moore describes in Spell 125, but on my skin it gets this kind of suede-like feel to it. It dries kind of somewhat sweet. Anyway, again, without getting into too much description, it's a beautiful fragrance. If you have not heard of Papillon Artisan Perfumes, I highly suggest you go and check them out. They are available at fumery.com, and then of course from Liz Moore's website directly in the UK. Literally within a few days after I picked up Spell 25, I went back down and went to go get one that I've been looking at for a while. Tabac Tabou from Parfum d'Empire. This is gorgeous, subtle tobacco, kind of dry, definitely a little bit of sweetness, but the Immortelle in here is freaking fantastic. There's a little bit of Narcissus. This wears on me super sexy. Love this. Parfum d'Empire, I have a couple of theirs. Super stoked. I've been looking at this one for like a year, so I'm very excited to start wearing this in the fall. What spurred me down this path as well was the new release from Tom Ford, the Ombre Leather Parfum. I went to go check it out down at the store at Nordstrom's, and let's just take a minute to really appreciate how sexy that is. I figured I would just maybe go down and get a sample and check it out, and then maybe do like a light first impressions, but then I ended up doing, I did do a first impressions, but it was after I got the bottle, so you can check that video out over here. And super excited to have this in my collection. Definitely along the same lines as the original Ombre Leather from his standard collection, but little bit of a difference, or rather a few differences that make this stand out. Definitely a lot smoother, a little bit more wearable if you're concerned about the brashness of the original Ombre Leather. So picked that one up as well. Ended up grabbing a couple that I've been looking at for a while as well from Chad over at Auge de Querel. Auge de Querel. Terrible with pronouncing his house's name. From up in Seattle. Picked up Night Tide, picked up Eau de Cologne. Night Tide, it's hard to explain. There's a little bit of spiciness, you know, there's definitely a feel of salt. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna burn through this 10 mil pretty quick. I actually have burned through it pretty quick for as many fragrances as I have. And then Eau de Cologne is Chad's take on your really classic cologne formula, which is kind of a timeless thing, and these are both beautiful representations of awesome artistry at its finest. So check out Auge de Querel. I kind of kept rolling with my indie house, you know, theme, and I finally went and got Nectar Bois from Oz and Motif Olfactif. Like this I have had my eye on for a while. Oh, it's gorgeous. Just a beautiful, beautiful frag. Resinous, incensey, has these just gorgeous fruit notes in it. Kind of a little bit of a caramel note in the background. I actually have quite a few of his fragrances that I want to get. Again, I'm trying to save money, so I'm thinking this might be the last of my spending this year, but don't count on it. Anyway, Nectar Bois from Motif Olfactif. I highly suggest that you get your nose on this. Proceeding to go further down the rabbit hole, I kind of jumped in feet first to Chanel. Now, I did a video where I finally picked up Bleu de Chanel. You can check that video out over here. And from there, I just kind of decided that I would start wading in a little bit further. I had Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. I ended up getting in one shipment, I got Allure Homme Edition Blanche. This is Eau de Parfum, and this kind of has a lot of those opening notes of Allure Homme Sport, but there's not that sweet tonka element that's in the Eau Extreme. Wonderful citrus, a little bit of greenness to it, muskiness. Beautiful, beautiful summer frag. I'm excited to see how this holds up in the autumn and the winter, because I do like to revisit a lot of those summer fragrances in the autumn and winter. So got that from Chanel, Allure Homme Edition Blanche. And then I ended up also picking up a wonderful Fougère barbershop style Platinum Egoiste from Chanel as well. Dana actually tried this last night and she super loves it. So I haven't worn this around her yet, but I think I will maybe try that out tonight. So that's Platinum Egoiste. And then from their kind of mid-range collection, this is Paris to Edinburgh. I don't remember the exact name off the top of my head. I'll print it down here of what that collection's called, but there's a bunch of corresponding, like from Paris to this place, fragrances that they did with inspirations. And this is really great. Little citrusy, vetiver is really beautiful in here. It's got a nice little smoky quality to it. And again, I get this slight hint of suede. I don't think that's in the note breakdown, but that's just my nose. And from there, this actually spurred me on to get a bunch of their Les Exclusifs samples in doing a road to a purchase. That video I haven't filmed yet, but when I do, I'll go back and put the link up here just in case. So those are the ones from Chanel that I got, and when I got Platinum Egoiste, I ended up also picking up a small travel spray of oud wood, and I gotta tell you, Tom Ford, in case you didn't know, this is pretty freaking amazing. It's medicinal. I know it's not necessarily real oud, but it has this very realistic kind of tactile vibe to it. The wood part, it's there. The medicinal qualities of the oud, it's kind of a little bit fuzzy. This is just, this is an interesting fragrance. Not sure if I'm gonna get a full bottle once I'm done with the travel spray, but I'm spending some more time with this. I'm digging the hell out of it. From there, I went on to fragrancebuy.ca and went nuts, picked up 5. I picked up from Xerjoff, I picked up Oud Star's Alkahat, and at first, when I started wearing this and checking it out, I was a little bit concerned because the first time I sprayed it on me, I was like, oh, nope, that's not gonna work, which sucks because it's a blind buy. But what turned me off at first was it has a very sweet opening. Very fruity, very, very kind of sugary sweet, kind of teeth, sweet sugar on the teeth, Shit, I know that doesn't make any sense. Once the dry down hits, it's really, really sexy. I love that there's just the oud in here is very subtle. It's like a supporting player. I've only worn this obviously in the warmer, heat, but now that we're rolling into autumn and winter, I'm gonna give this a lot of sprays. I'm actually really enjoying the hell out of it. At first, like I said, I was going to turn around and just sell this, but now that it's been a month, I'm glad that I haven't, because I'm enjoying the hell out of it as it's starting to get chillier, and I think the more cold that it gets, the more I'm gonna love it. Oud Stars Alchemyst from Xerjoff. Then I went classic. I went and picked up finally Yves Saint Laurent's Kouros. It's super, super interesting. I haven't had a lot of time to spend with it, but I know that there's definitely some kind of, an animalic quality to it. I've heard people say it's kind of pissy, but I just feel that there's a kind of green vibrancy to it, some woody undertones. It's really complex. This is kind of old school AF. Looking forward to spending more time with it and getting to know it better before I can really give a 100% decision on it. I do like it enough that I want to keep it and wear it for a while. Not sure if that's going to continue throughout, the lifetime of my fragrance collection, but for now, going to spend some time this year with Kouros. I talked about it in a previous video. I think it was a citrus video, as being something that once I burn through the travel spray, I'm going to pick up a bigger bottle, and that is Atelier Cologne's Pacific Lime. So I did go and get this, obviously, and I love this. It's pretty simple. It's coconut, lime, citrus, musks. It's probably one of my favorite of all time summer fragrances. And actually, I'm gonna say that if I had to choose only one citrus to ever wear, there's a good possibility that this might be it. The lime in it is gorgeous. The coconut is not overpowering. It's just a little supporting player. Beautiful fragrance. Atelier Cologne's Pacific Lime. You should definitely get a bottle. Check it out. They sell the small travel sprayers at like Sephora. That's the one that I got. Originally, I think it was like 30 bucks. You can't beat that. The last two that I got from fragrancebuy.ca, I've been looking at Fort Manley for a long time. Since I've heard the name Rase Fort. And this one in particular, Confessions of a Garden Gnome. I have a few of my hashtag bean sprayer friends to thank for this. It piqued my interest. There's tomato leaf, there's florals, perfectly named garden gnome, involving the garden gnome, because this is not just green, it's not just floral, it's a massive combination of all. It really is beautiful. It's really calming, and it's really like laying down inside of a big, beautiful garden. Envision like an English garden, on your back, eyes closed, sun above you in the sky, a little bit of clouds. I'm really getting too much into it. It's beautiful. I got it for a song from fragrancebuy.ca, and I'm really happy to have it in my collection because I've been looking forward to it. Confessions of a Garden Gnome, and then I was gonna get his amber, but it was sold out, so I went ahead and shot at the moon and picked up 40 Thieves, and I'm super pissed that it took me this long to get this. This is, holy shit, this is great. This is sweet, but in that vanillic, resinous quality type sweetness. Tobacco, oudi. It's, Jesus tits, this is amazing. Just the right amount of powderiness. 40 Thieves, it blows my mind that it took me this long to get it. I really love this. If you like your fragrances dark and sumptuous and really interesting, pick up 40 Thieves. And to the last little bit of this haul, I love myfragrancesamples.com. These guys are, I'm not sponsored by them. We've never talked about anything like that. I'd love it though. myfragrancesamples.com. Mark, if you wanna talk business, not that you're watching, but my point is that I love their service, their decant service, and they also have partial bottles and they also sell retail bottles. So they got in some decants of the new 2020 Dior Homme Parfum. If you watch my channel, you know that I love this. Top 2, 3 of all time. And I only had a 2.5 fluid ounce bottle that I use really sparingly. Mostly it's for me to calm down when I'm about to go to bed, but I love it. The orris, the leathery vibe, the slight floral, the little bit of like rose. The woodiness, it's gorgeous. And they stopped selling it in the US. And you can't even buy the 2020 version of the parfum in the US. I confirmed that with an email to a representative from Dior, and they said, oh yeah, we're not selling it to the US. So the only way to get it is to go over to Europe. We're in COVID, so haven't been able to go to Europe. But they did get these. You could get them on eBay for like $300 a bottle, which is beyond what I want to pay. But myfragrancesamples.com got a few bottles, and they did some decants. And I got this, and I was super, super excited about it. And then I turned around and saw that they had a retail bottle for sale. So I bought the whole retail bottle, and they sell it at retail price. And I'm super happy because, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to ever get a chance to get it, but now I've got a full 100 ml bottle to go with my 2.5 fluid ounce bottle. I don't want to do the conversion, 75 milliliter bottle. And so now I've got plenty of Dior Homme Parfum, and that's a happy freaking day in Brandon's life. So love you, myfragrancesamples.com, for that. And on top of the beauty of getting the Dior Homme Parfum 2020, I also picked up a partial that they sold. Like I said, they sell partial bottles with the full bottle of Yves Saint Laurent's La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique. Chris from Fragmental turned me on to this via a video, a review that he did of it. He talked about it being very similar to the original old school La Nuit de l'Homme, and I have got to completely agree with him. This is like taking it back to the old day. It's interesting that they released this. I mean, there's a little, you know, there's some subtle differences, but this is really gorgeous. This lasts longer than the original current formulation of La Nuit de l'Homme. I highly suggest getting your schnoz on this. I think they still are selling samples at myfragrancesamples.com. Go check it out. And that's it. That's such a long-winded video. It's a haul. There's like 16 fragrances, 18? I don't even know anymore. I don't even know what I'm doing. But that is my haul for August. And I would be remiss to say that I don't have a few more on the way. It is what it is. You know how it works. Hope that you enjoyed my haul, and I hope that you get a chance to check some of these out if you haven't already. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Random YouTube jargon stuff, but more importantly, I hope that you guys have a great week and a great weekend, and I hope that you're taking care of yourselves and each other. No matter what you're doing, no matter where you're going, no matter what you're buying, don't forget to keep calm, stink pretty, and I'll see you on the next one.